So it's day one at AccountingWEB. We're now joined by Byrne from BrightPay. Paul, in your AccountingWEB talk today, you're going to be discussing why it's important accountants implement or help automate auto-enrolment. Could you let us know why it's important?
Okay, well we view it as a very important part of the whole payroll process. I suppose if we compare it a bit with RTI was a huge change for payroll that happened over the last couple of years. But RTI is simply another way of submitting, or a quicker way of submitting the information to HMRC. Auto-enrolment actually goes right into the whole payroll process itself. For example, you have to, once you've staged, you have to determine whether particular employees need to be enrolled, whether they need to be postponed. Then when you do that, you have to actually calculate the deductions and contributions. Then you have to submit the files to the pension company that you've selected every pay period. And then there's ongoing monitoring of employees. For example, ones that haven't enrolled, they may be because they're under the age of 22. So the payroll has to constantly monitor whether somebody has reached that age or whether their earnings have gone beyond a particular amount of pay, which is £10,000 per annum. So it's integral. It's basically endemic to the whole payroll process. So our message is that, okay, we have the software that actually enables you to do that as part of the payroll processing. You can't actually handle auto-enrolment in our view as a separate process. It is actually part of the overall process itself. So that's really the message we're bringing. And I suppose the other things about automating is there's a lot of technological advances going on in the industry. For example, the pensions regulator has come up with APIs, is what they're called. God, I can't even remember what API stands for at the moment, Advanced Programming Interface or whatever. But these basically enable the software to communicate directly with, say, the portal of the pension regulator. One of those APIs is, what is my staging date? And that's going to be very important for, say, accountants on behalf of their clients to be able not just to have to key in information to the payroll, the pension regulator's website, but for the payroll to do that automatically. There's other APIs that the pension regulator is coming up with to do with things like your declaration of compliance. And then on the front of the payroll or the pension companies, to actually submit the information to them, Nest have an API, so that enables the software to communicate directly with Nest to transfer the information, whereas before it used to be downloading CVs and uploading or CSV files, uploading CSV files. So the whole thing is automating. It's an evolving process as well. So that's where we're right in the middle of all of that. So, and we're providing a solution.
So Paul, when it comes to the accountant as client relationship, how can the accountant help their client in terms of helping auto-enrolment work, and also maybe any sort of idea with pricing?
Okay. Well, I suppose first of all, most of the clients, now I'm talking about the small to micro size clients, they really don't have a clue. I suppose that most of them don't have a clue about auto-enrolment. So they're going to rely heavily on their accountant or a payroll bureau to look after this for them. So the accountant has to get out there, probably has to be proactive. It's a huge business opportunity. It's something they can charge for, and quite rightly so, because it's a huge responsibility. Now, obviously, the more automated they have the processes in-house, the more profitable it will be and easier for them to actually do the auto-enrolment process for their clients. So, yeah, I would say be proactive for a start. Find out when your client's staging date is and approach the client and sit down with them and say, look, this is coming down the tracks. We actually provide a feature within our software that actually produces a report well prior to staging, showing how things will look at staging. So the accountant can give their client an indication as to what the cost will be of auto-enrolment, what their contributions will need to be, whether anybody needs to be enrolled in the first place, because if somebody else needs to be enrolled, you need to have a pension scheme selected and set up in time for that. So sit in front of the client, work out who does what. I think you'll find in most cases the client will want the accountant to do everything, and probably agree pricing. But pricing it's a difficult one because I've heard from various different firms, and there's a huge range of pricing that's been given to clients, and it ranges, I think, from first of all, you got staging. That's the most labour-intensive process. That's when you get everybody on board. It varies between £200 and I've heard £2,000, right up to that amount. Okay, so I'm not going to comment on that higher figure. And then, in terms of the ongoing processing, I've heard people that will charge an extra £1 per payslip, say, on top of whatever they were charging for the normal payroll processing. But again, that comes down to a minimum charge as well, as opposed to maybe £30 or £40 a month, because you'd have some businesses will just have one employee. Obviously, the single director companies, they're kind of exempt from the whole procedure anyway. But it is an opportunity, and the thing is to get out there in front of the client and let them know what's going on, what they can do for them, agreed on their level of engagement as well, that what they're going to do. I know we've done a few webinars on this, and the actual letter engagement side of things, just the additional work that's required for auto enrolment comes to something like 5 pages. Wow. So there's a lot in it, and it's good that the client understands, exactly what they can. So they'll understand that the value for money proposition.
So it seems like there's a lot of good advice there, Paul, so there's a lot for accountants to take on. So thank you very much for your time today.
Okay, thank you.
Very much appreciated.
Cheers.